It's Witness Wednesday, and this week, the treasure's been unlocked. What will you witness? Join us and see for yourself.
I'm a soldier, motherfucker, and I put that on my mama and them. Heard them talking reckless, they don't really want to pot them then. Tell them wakey, wakey when I drop another bomb again. Blessing holy water, but be sinking when it's time to swim. Finish with the trauma, bring the dollars in. I just left the streets, but still the women say they proud of him. Left the fabricated, so the truth, I bring it out of them. Still believe in God, I'm like Daniel when the lion's den. They can burn the city, but still be reppin' bros. I ain't known to come up little, I'm a professional. Walk into the building, do my shit, and grab a check and go. Setback, hella scars, but still exceptional. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who gon' tell him no? How you supposed to win when it's melanin is criminal? Rapping cause lieutenant, I'ma get it, that's in general. City red and blues, know these not political. Spirit kinda numb, so my nigga, I don't feel it. I've been prayed up, it's ironic how I killed. Went from taking buses to them bussing, that's a field trip. Bible in my hand, but my pocket got a steel grip. Spirit kinda numb, so I don't feel. I've been prayed up, it's ironic how I killed. Went from taking buses to them bussing, that's a field trip. Bible in my hand, but my pocket got a steel grip.
Shalom Yasharala, Yahweh Bashim Yahusha, Barakatam. I'm the Nasha Yaslan, and with me, I got the mighty Malak Enoch. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather. He's not feeling too well. His throat is pretty sore, so he won't be doing the reading today. I'll be taking on the show myself, but I still wanted him present for this lesson to show support and also to be edified in this beautiful teaching. Today is Witness Wednesday number 9, the heart of a lion. And as you guys can obviously tell, I have a lion staff right there, lion picture, even put a lion shirt on for this lesson. I really enjoy lions my whole life. We're not supposed to get tattoos, but back when I was in the world, I even got a lion tattooed on my arm. Lions are a big deal to me. My favorite animal for sure. It's all in the spirit. Lions are all throughout the entire scriptures. And so for this lesson, I wanted to demonstrate the heart of a lion and how it is within us. Not all of us, but there are some that have the heart of a lion. Right? Some people are fearful. Some people are cowardly, afraid, living their life in fear. Not in the fear of the Lord, but in the fear of man. And so before proceeding any further, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Tawada Abba for allowing us to bring out another mighty lesson in the Spirit. Very excited to be able to teach on this particular topic. I have 3 accounts of mighty men that portray and demonstrate having the heart of a lion. The heart of a lion, embracing the biblical spirit of bravery and strength. That's what the heart of a lion is all about. Bravery and strength, being courageous. So we're going to look into the scriptures and see what this heart of a lion is all about, and whether we possess it or not. And it's also something that you could obtain. You can grow in it. For example, being girded up to deal with Israel and the heathens, man in general, it is something that you will have to learn through experience. And so you will become more bold, more courageous as you go through things, most high willing. You can learn from your experience and wax mightier. And that lion at heart can start to reveal itself more and more in the proper timing. There's a time and place for everything. It's not always time for you to be roaring on someone like a lion. That's for certain. But there are times where it is called for. And we're going to see some of those times in the scriptures right now. Before we go into the scriptures, I want to read this to you all. The lion-hearted spirit. Throughout the Bible, the lion is a profound symbol of courage, power, and unwavering faith. When we speak of having a lion-hearted spirit, we are drawing upon centuries of spiritual tradition, calling ourselves to boldly step forward with strength, seize leadership, and demonstrate a steadfast trust in Yahweh. Across the pages of Scripture, these qualities appear not merely as admirable traits, but as essentials for anyone seeking to live a transformed life rooted in faith. We will explore the stories of lion-hearted individuals and discover practical ways for cultivating this remarkable spirit within ourselves today. From the Psalms to the visions in Revelation, lions serve as metaphors not only for physical might, but also for moral and spiritual courage. This spirit is not restricted to warriors or kings. It is available to any believer willing to walk in obedience and step out in bold trust. We will seek to understand this lion-heartedness not as reckless bravado, but as empowered humility and bold faithfulness before Yahweh. And so I wanted to give that to you all to have a better understanding of where we're headed in the scriptures. So we'll open it up with our very first Proverbs 28 and verse 1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. The wicked are fearful. They're fleeing when no man is pursuing. That means nobody is even coming after them, and yet they still have the need or feel the need to flee. Nobody's coming after them. They still have to flee, though. They're fearful. They're worrisome. They're troublesome. But the righteous are the opposite. They are bold as a lion. A lion is coming in authority, with strength, with power, with courage. Who wants to go head up with a lion? Who wants to pick a fight with a lion? This is how the righteous are coming. You have to have that in your spirit. You have to feel that in your heart. Again, you can grow into it, but a lot of our people, they were born with this in them. Like the fire in Jeremiah's bones, you feel this. If you hear this, and this is you should be feeling it right now. Book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Who's gonna make us afraid? Who is gonna have us in fear? When you understand that the Most High is watching over you and taking care of you and is your rock and your refuge, your sword and your shield, your buckler, all these things, who can make me fear? Who am I going to be afraid of? The Lord is our strength in our life. So when you have this in your spirit and you can grasp it and understand it and live in it, that boldness comes out, as we read in Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 1. That boldness comes out. You live your life differently than the normal person. Even differently than the normal Israelite. Just because people are claiming Israel and wearing the fringes and say they keep commandments, that doesn't mean that they're bold as a lion. That doesn't mean that they have this fully understood, because you will know them by their fruits. That brother is 10 toes down for serving the Most High. It don't matter what's going on. Nothing can get that brother to be fearful. Nothing can get that brother to bend or fold. That brother is like a lion. He is lion-hearted. This is how it is to walk with the heart of a lion. Now, let's get to our very first account, because seeing these two scriptures, Proverbs 28 and 1, Psalms 27 and 1, tying those together, someone should come to mind. Someone who was lion-hearted from a very young age. Someone that understood that the Most High was with him, and that's where his strength and power resided. It was not in his own flesh. It was not in his own wisdom. It was not in his weapons. No, his strength came from Yahweh. And so I'm going to get my very first account of someone who was lion-hearted. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17 and verse 23. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them, and all the men of Israel when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid. Didn't we just read in Proverbs 28:1, the wicked flee when no man pursueth? And then also in Psalms 27:1, it says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Of whom shall I be afraid? You see, these men of Israel, they fled. Goliath wasn't chasing after them. And they were sore afraid. They weren't saying the Lord is my strength and my life. You see, it's not in everybody to have the heart of a lion. It's not in every man. But we know it was in David. We know for certain. Let's get it. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 25. And the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. So any man willing to step up and go and battle Goliath and kill him, hey, you're gonna be living like a king. You're gonna be wealthy. You're gonna have a wife. Things are gonna be looking good for you if you could take them out. Verse 26. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? That's the heart of a lion right there. Who does this guy think he is? Nasty, filthy, uncircumcised Philistine coming over here thinking that he could fight against the Most High God's army. Why has nobody shown him who we are? That's the heart of the lion coming out of David. He's roaring right now. Verse 27. And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. Verse 28. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he had spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David. And he said, why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride, and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. So he's telling his young little brother, man, what are you doing over here? You supposed to be taking care of the sheep. Who's taking care of the sheep while you're over here trying to stick your nose in somewhere it don't belong? You came down here to see this battle. Nobody called you down here. You got a job, and that's watching over the sheep. So his oldest brother, is upset. Watch this. Verse 29. And David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. So he went to another group, and he's like, hey, who is this uncircumcised Philistine, thinking that he could defy the armies of the living God? He went to another group and telling them that. And he told his brother, what's the problem? Is there not a reason why I came down here? Nobody's telling this uncircumcised Philistine what it is and what it isn't. Somebody's got to step up and do it. Verse 31. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. So those groups that he was speaking to, they took what David said and they gave it to Saul. And they said exactly what David was saying. And so Saul heard it and said, bring him to me. Verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. David was ready for war. It didn't matter how old he was. Didn't matter how tall, how big, how strong, how smart. It was the heart of a lion within him telling Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Nobody's going to step up and handle this uncircumcised Philistine. I don't care how big he is. I don't care how strong he is. I don't care how big his spear is. None of that concerns me. I'm your servant. Guess what? I'm going to go and fight. I'm going to do it. I'm probably the last one you guys would have all chose to go and fight him, but I'm going to do it. David had the heart of a lion from a youth. That's why I said it's something that you can possess. You're born with it. But it's also something that can be nurtured and you can grow in it. Your gird can grow. And so David's lionheartedness grew over time and he became the king of Israel doing a whole battling so many different nations. His hands were so bloody that he couldn't even dedicate the temple. Solomon had to do it. That's how much blood was on David's hands. He was a bloody lion. So that was one account, and we know that David ended up winning that battle, and he got the victory over Goliath because it wasn't in the measurement of strength or weight or height or multitude. The strength came from the Lord, and so the Lord allowed David to win the battle. We have to understand that. Some people can't fully grasp that, but you operate differently when you do understand that. Now, I want to grab this in the GNT, Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 29. There are 4 things that are impressive to watch as they walk. Lions, strongest of all animals, and afraid of none. I'm going to put that on a shirt. It's got to be done. Proverbs 30 and 30. Lions, strongest of all animals, and afraid of none. That right there shows you what type of spirit young David was moving in. Though he might not have been the biggest, the tallest, the fastest, the strongest, it didn't matter. He wasn't afraid. It didn't matter what Goliath looked like. He was an uncircumcised Philistine going against the Most High's army. And that's all that mattered to David. Now verse 31. Goats, strutting roosters, and kings in front of their people. These 4 things are impressive to watch as they walk. Seeing a king, Malak, walk in front of their people is impressive. It's a sight to see. The king walks with authority, confidence, bravery, strength. These are the things that you have to possess. Otherwise, you won't be a mighty Malak. A lion heart is definitely needed to be an excellent king, to be an excellent Malak. It's mandatory. Another one in the GNT. Genesis chapter 49 and verse 9. Judah is like a lion, killing his victim and returning to his den, stretching out and lying down. No one dares disturb him. Guess what? David was from the tribe of Judah, and he demonstrated his lionheartedness, killing his victim. Think about that. Everyone thought David was the victim. Everyone thought David was going to be destroyed and Goliath would win based off of appearances. They didn't understand who was stepping in to that ring. David understood, though. David understood exactly what he was doing and that he was being used by the Most High to destroy that uncircumcised Philistine. And I bet you after that, who's going to dare disturb young David now after laying down Goliath and nobody else could? Who's going to want to disturb him? Now, don't get me wrong, there was many more battles that David went through, but you let me know how that turned out for them, because we know that he lived through all his battles. Now let's get another account. This one's interesting, very interesting. 1 Chronicles chapter 11 and verse 22. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. Also, he went down and slew a lion in a pit in a snowy day. That's a lot of lion talk. So Benaiah, he already had a name for himself. He did many valiant acts, and we're given 2 of these acts right here. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. These 2 men were powerful, were strong. Now, does it mean that they were actually like part lion? Let me put it like this. There's a circus, there's a freak show. We've seen people look like wolves. We've seen people with all different types of deformities. Who knows? They could have actually looked like some lions. Who knows, right? But what we have to go off of here says they were lion-like. They were still men. Now, I take it as they were very strong. Strong like a lion. Probably crazy on the battlefield, too. Agile, bold, courageous, powerful. All these things, like a lion. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter if they were lion-like or not. Benaiah still slew them. And on another account, it says he also went down and slew a lion in a pit in a snowy day. So think about that. Benaiah's in a disadvantage. You ever try to run through some snow? That's tough. Now try fighting a lion in a pit of snow. You let me know how that goes for you. But Benaiah won that battle as well. So it shows that the lion-heartedness can have you overcome obstacles that would look impossible to the average person. This is what some of us possess. Now let's keep talking about Benaiah. 1 Chronicles chapter 11, verse 23. And he slew an Egyptian, a man of great stature, 5 cubits high, and in the Egyptian's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam. And he went down to him with a staff, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the 3 mighties. Let's start from the top. He slew an Egyptian man of great stature. Means this man was big. This man was solid. 5 cubits high. That's around 8 feet. He's taller than 8 feet tall. That's a big man. Taller than 8 feet? That's a big man. I said the average is around what, 5'9" today? This man was over 8 feet tall. It says, in the Egyptian's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam. Basically, he had a big spear. And I know I made in the image, I made it way over dramatic. Way over dramatic. But I wanted to show the comparison. Wanted to get the point across. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter what nation he was from. Doesn't matter what type of weapon he had. I mean, think about it. It says, he went to him with a staff. Benaiah had a staff in his hand, a piece of wood. But it says, he plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. That means he overpowered this ginormous Egyptian, took his own spear and killed him with it. That's some strength right there. And courage, bravery, all of it. Benaiah was lion-hearted. And for doing so, he had his name among the 3 mighties. Now, if you look in this chapter, it talks about David having 30 captains. He had 30 captains. Now, Benaiah wasn't even one of the top 3. He was of the 30 and had his name among the 3 mighties. See, there was 3 that were the mightiest of all. He was among the 30, though. So the 3 were Jashobeam, Eleazar, and Shammah. Those were the 3 mighties. But it just goes to show there was 30 men that David had at his disposal to unleash on these other nations. It's amazing to think about, to have such a mighty army at hand and the Lord using us as his battle axes. Straight up. We are the Most High's battle axes. We just have to realize that. Now let's go to another mighty brother. Let's get another account. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 1. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. Think about the bravery and the courage it would take for Judas Maccabeus to rise up in his father's stead. That's some big shoes you have to fill. But he did it. He did it, and he was successful, and he prospered. And he had Israel, those that feared the Most High, were fighting alongside him with cheerfulness. Verse 3. So he gat his people great honor, and put on a breastplate as a giant, and girt his warlike harness about him. And he made battles, protecting the host with his sword. In his axe he was like a lion, and like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. Get the visual. He's putting on a big old breastplate. I mean, obviously Judas Maccabeus was a big brother. He put on a breastplate as a giant, put on a warlike harness, and he made battles, protecting the host with his sword. He's protecting, which is defense, with an offensive instrument, being the sword. It's It's funny. He's protecting the host with his sword. He's protecting using an offensive item. It's interesting the way that it's worded, but that says a lot about him. In his acts, he was like a lion. He was lion-hearted. This is the spirit within him, and like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. Lion's whelp means a young lion. So he was like a young lion roaring for his prey. Who's next? Who wants it? Who is going to get the business? Because he's standing tall and firm and courageous for his people, for the Most High, for the laws, statutes, and commandments, for his heritage, for his culture. Verse 5, for he pursued the wicked and sought them out and burnt up those that vexed his people. Wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand. He had the wicked shrinking in fear. Think about the average person. If they came face to face with a lion, what would they do? They would shrink in fear. They'd cry out, they'd scream, they'd run, they'd pee their pants, they'd be terrified. They'd call for God. They'd do all these different things that would demonstrate that they were fearful. This is how it was dealing with Judas Maccabeus. He was fearful to the wicked. He was a lion to them. Remember, the righteous are as bold as a lion. That's what he was to these other nations, to the wicked. Even our own are considered within that wicked. Verse 7, he grieved also many kings and made Jacob glad with his acts, and his memorial is blessed forever. Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying the ungodly out of them, and turning away wrath from Israel, so that he was renowned unto the utmost part of the earth, and he received unto him such as were ready to perish. He was bringing terror upon kings. So he was a terror to the wicked, to the ungodly, to the other nations, to other kings, but he made Jacob glad with his acts. So that lion, it can protect, it can nurture, it can be caring, loving, but it also has the other side where it will just tear your face off. That's what we have to understand. We don't want to tear nobody's face off, but if it's called for, then that's what it is. We would much rather be loving, much rather nurture and care, but if it's time to bite somebody's head off, then that's just what it's got to be. So I got 2 more verses for you all. 2 more. I gave you 3 accounts of 3 men that demonstrated their lion-heartedness. Now I want to get a precept to what was going on with Judas Maccabeus. Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 12. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. Now let me explain. This is what I was just talking about. The king's wrath, a king is a ruler, a leader, a power. Judas Maccabeus was the captain of the people at that time. Mattathias, his father, was the one leading the people, and we read in we read in 1 Maccabees chapter 3 that Judas rose up in his father's stead. And so now Judas is the leader. And with him leading, his wrath is as the roaring of a lion. He had the wicked shrinking in fear. He had kings terrified. He was out destroying the ungodly. That's what you're going to get when you're wicked. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. That's exactly what was going on. Now, look at the other side. This is the side we want to have. We want to be able to keep this for as long as we possibly can until it's time to chew someone's head off. But his favor is as dew upon the grass. This is the side we want to have. We want to have this side where, let me explain it. His favor, meaning his desire, is as the dew upon the grass. The dew is the if you go outside in the morning, and it was cold, there's gonna be dew, water on the grass, which nourishes it. It gives it nourishment. It cares for it. That dew helps the grass grow and be healthy. This is what a malak does. This is what a king does. He wants to show favor. The dew is the nourishment, and the grass is the people. And so the king wants to give his favor. His desire is to nourish the people. That's his desire. That's what he cares most about. Judas, he had to go and chew heads off because they were trying to come and destroy the God-fearing Israelite. And he was not going to just sit by and watch it and let it happen. No way. Just like today, I'm not just going to watch it happen. Not at all. So we want to be able to enjoy and have a desire in nourishing our people. But when it's time for us to roar like a lion, then we have to be ready to do so. Just like David, just like Benaiah, and just like Judas Maccabeus. And there's many more brothers in the scriptures. I just didn't want to pull a whole bunch of accounts. But there's many more examples of brothers that have a lion-hearted spirit, just like Daniel in the lion's den. I mean, he was literally with the lions in the den, in their home. He didn't get chewed up. He put his faith and trust in the Most High God. Samson literally killed a lion with his bare hands. We have people within Israel that possess this, and it's something that has to continue to grow because we're called to be watchmen of our people, and we're also called to be the battle axes for the Most High. So we have to have this within our spirit. Now, with that being said, I have to finish it out with Hamashiach because that's him within us. Revelations chapter 5 and verse 5. And one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. So we see right here, he's the root of David. He took from his forefather. You see how David was? It was in his blood. It was in his DNA. It was who he was designed to be. And so we see Christ being called the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And we seen in Genesis chapter 49 and verse 9, Genesis 49 and 9, Judah is like a lion, killing his victim and returning to his den. Christ is coming back with vengeance. He came at first as a lamb to be sacrificed for his people, and now he's going to be coming back as a lion to tear heads off. And so there's a time and place for everything, but we have to have this in our spirit. This has to exude from us. And so I hope that those that are watching, you possess this and you harness it and nurture it. Allow it to grow. Wax mightier in it. Build up your gird. Build up your strength. Build up your courage in the physical, in the spiritual. Build it up. We are weapons of war. We have to understand that. And that goes into many different aspects. Your health, your combat, your faith, your prayers, your fasting, your mindset. There's so much that goes into having the heart of a lion. And so our forefathers had hearts of a lion, and Christ is the heart of a lion. He is the Lion of Judah. And so we put on Hamashiach. Therefore, we have to move as he moved because he is our example. And so I hope this encourages brothers who walk in authority that has been given to us by Hashem Yahushua HaMashiach. And with that, I want to say all praises to the Most High. I salute you all and continue to fight the good fight of faith and continue to defend what you know is true and just and right. With that, I say Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahshua, Barakathon.
I'm a soldier, motherfucker, and I put that on my mama and them. Heard them talking reckless, they don't really want to problem them. Tell them wakey, wakey when I drop another bomb again. Blessing holy water, but be sinking when it's time to swim. Finish with the trauma, bring the dollars in. I just left the streets, but still the women say they proud of him. Left the fabricated, so the truth, I bring it out of them. Still believe in God, I'm like Daniel when the lion's den. They can burn the the city, but a still be reppin' bros. I ain't known to come up little, I'm a professional. Walk into the building, do my shit, and grab a check and go. Step back, hella scars, but a still exceptional.